दिनमपि रजनी सायं प्रातः शिशिरवसन्तौ पुनरायातः कालक्रीडति गच्छतायुः तद्विरमुञ्चत्याशवायुः भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं मूढमते प्राप्ते सन्निधिमरुणे नयनै रक्षति दुःखिं करुणे। अंगं गलितं पुलितं मुञ्जं दशनविहीनं जातं तुञ्जं वृद्धो जाति घृत्वा दञ्जं तद्विरमुञ्चत्याशपिञ्जं पुनरपि जननं पुनरपि मरणं पुनरपि जननी जठरे शयनं यो संसारे खलु दुस्तरे कृपा पारे पाहि मुरारे। This is a Charpata Panjurika Stotram by Shankara. Day and night, evening and morning, winter and spring roll on. Time is having its sport. Life is being spent away, yet the vain desire does not go. Worship the Lord, worship the Lord, worship the Lord. O dull-headed mind, when death approaches, all of your learning will be of no avail. The body has become worn out, hairs have turned grey, the teeth have fallen, and the old man is walking, supporting himself on a stick. Yet desire leaves him not. So worship the Lord. Birth, death, life in the mother's womb come by turn again and again. O Lord, out of thy grace protect me in this samsara, relative existence, which is really hard to cross over. So, worship the Lord. If one has but started the Gita, even a little, taken at least a drop of the holy Ganges water, and worship the Lord but even once, what can death do to such a person? So, worship the Lord. This is a beautiful hymn of Shankara. Reminds all of us the impermanence of this world, impermanence of this human body, and the goal of human life. Bhaja Govindam, worship the Lord. Sometimes we use the word nama. Do you know what it means? No mama, not I. Thou, Lord, thou. Nama and mama. Mama means everything is mine. So this type of hymn reminds us our existence in this world, our true nature. And how human life flows through ups and downs, happiness and misery, disease and death. But how can we make our life fruitful? Janma safailam, fulfillment of life. Those who lead the materialistic life, their lives are very pleasurable. They get a lot of pleasure in this world, no doubt. But what next? When death comes, it snatches away this life from this world, from the enjoyment. And people cry. Spiritual life Adau ante jahuri sarvatra giyati. In the beginning, individual, in the end, only God. If we had God-centered life, we'll not have to fear from anything. Materialistic life, they live always in fear and fear. If share market collapses, some people get heart attack. When health breaks down, people say that you have terminal cancer. People are miserable. Human life in this world is very, very short. When we bring God in our life, life becomes meaningful, joyful, peaceful, happy. Sri Ramakrishna says again and again, this Maya cannot make a person happy. Momentarily we may get happiness. So it is wonderful that we have a desire to lead God-centered life. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Mudhamate. Mudhamate, oh talented person. Worship the Lord, worship the Lord, worship. Shankara reminds us 3 times so that we may not forget. One time we may forget, second time we may forget, but third time convincing. Do not forget God. Bring God in your life. You will find what a great change will come. You will really enjoy this world. That's Sri Ramakrishna taught his disciple. Majar Kuti. This world transformed into a mansion of mirth, mansion of happiness, peace, and joy. So, let us meditate on God or Atman. Oh. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidveshavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May Brahman protect us, may he guide us, may he give us the strength and right understanding. May love and harmony be with us all. Om, peace, peace, peace be true. Panchadasi, chapter 5, verse 5. We are studying Mahavakya. A great Vedic dictum, a great mantra, which unites the individual soul with the cosmic soul, Jivatma and Paramatma. And that only brings liberation. Where there is duality, there is problem. There is fear. This non-dual knowledge can bring only liberation. Liberation from what? Birth and death. We will not have to come back to this world again. Look, what is wrong that if we come back to this world again and again, as I said, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jachari shayanam, birth, death, again go into the womb of the mother and die. Every time you come and you are born and die. It is an angel. Who brings us back again and again? Desire. What is the cause of desire? Ignorance. Who can destroy this ignorance? This Mahavakya. This mantra has a tremendous power to knock out this duality. I'm just trying to tell you that how important it is, this Vedic wisdom. This, as I told you in previous class, these 4 Vedas have 4 mantras. In Rig Veda, Prajnanam Brahma, consciousness is Brahman. Yajur Veda, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. Sama Veda, Tattvamasi, thou art that, you are Brahman. And Atharva Veda, I am Atma Brahma. This Atman is Brahman. These are the 4 great mantras. The first mantra is Swarup Bodhak, Prajnanam Brahma, Prajna, that consciousness, that is Brahman. It will remind you true nature. Aham Brahmasmi, Anubhav Mulak, it is a matter of experience. Tattvamasi, thou art that, Upadesh Mulak. Guru is telling the disciple, you are Brahman. And I am Atma Brahma. Upadesh Mulak, and I am Atma Brahma. Aparaksha bodhak. Paraksha, aparaksha. Direct, indirect. Everybody has knowledge of God. What kind of knowledge? Indirect knowledge. We learn from our parents, we learn from the gurus, we learn from the books, scriptures, God exists. That's all. But we have no direct knowledge of God. So that is the difference. Thakur says, you have seen milk, but you have never drunk milk. If you drink milk, you will get nourishment, you will get a strength. Only seeing milk or touching milk will not help. That is the way the Vedanta scripture comes. You must have experience. That is the Vedantic knowledge works. What shall I experience? Satchidananda, your true nature. Consciousness, unconsciousness. Brahman, we do not see. But we see the manifestation of Brahma's power. How? Watch yourself. Jnana Shakti, Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti. You have three powers inside. Each human being. Jnana Shakti, power of knowledge, which comes in the buddhi, your intellect. I know. Ichha Shakti, power of will, which comes in the mind. I have a tremendous willpower. I have less willpower. Kriya Shakti, power of action. It comes in the body and the senses. We do not see Brahman, but I see the manifestation of consciousness in human system. Same thing in this world. Watch the world. This vast universe came from Brahman. It is the manifestation of Brahma's tamasic power. Tamas, dull, inertia. The Rajasic power of Brahman manifests these human beings, Chetan, conscious human beings. And the Sattvic power of Brahman manifests God, creator, preserver, destroyer of the universe. Sometimes watch Swamiji's lectures. God, soul, universe. He's telling that how from that Brahman, from that cosmic consciousness, these three manifestations we find or encountering in this world. So Brahman manifests in the universe, trees, plants, mountain, river, and it manifests in us also. Difference? They have no antakaran, we have antakaran. They have no mind, intellect. A tree, plant, they do not have intellect. We have. That is the speciality of human beings. That Brahman is manifesting, saturated in everything, every being manifests, reflects. But it is the mind and intellect of human beings take the maximum reflection. Example, when there is lightning, it reflects on the street, on the trees, on the door, but maximum reflection on the glass window because it is transparent. So our minds are the most transparent, mind and intellect, antakara, inner organ. There we find the reflection. And there in the buddhi, this conscious and the unconscious meet. That is called chit jad granthi. Chit means consciousness, jad means matter. Buddhi also is matter, made from Maya, and that knot. That knot we will have to break. The moment you will break, we will be free. Who is holding that knot? Ego, I and mine. We shall knock out this I. But Vedanta is trying, why will you knock out? Just expand. Instead of telling I am Mr. and so, I am a Swami, I am this, why are you limiting your infinite nature? Say I am Brahman. Just replace it. it is very rational, the way the Vedanta talks. Life, light, love. Jeep, Karta, Gata, Bhokta. I am the doer. In my eye, he says, I am the doer. I am the knower. I am the enjoyer. These three things, all human beings. I am the doer, I am the knower, I am the enjoyer. It comes from the three powers of Brahman. Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti. Without that Shakti, we are all dead. This is all manifestations of Shakti. And how one of the Vedanta texts gave a very beautiful example. Here's a party. The owner of the house invited a dancing girl. She has come to dance and entertain the audience. And here is the light. The owner of the house is the ego, who arranged everything, or Jiva, the Jivatma. And the audience are these objects, sense objects. The dancing girl is the Buddhi. She will entertain. And she needs musicians to accompany his dance. Those musicians are the sense organs. And this alo, light. What is light doing? Is lighting the hall, is lighting the audience, is lighting the owner of the house, is lighting the dancing girl, is lighting the musicians. It is lighting everything. When nobody is there, still it is lighting. And the light lights itself. Shar Prakash, Swayam Prakash Atma. Atma is self-luminous. It does not bring light from external objects. That is our true nature. I am just giving you this introduction so that you can understand that what is the behind that Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman and thou art Brahman. Who are you? Find out first who are you. Another thing, object, we call Satchidananda. Sat means existence, Chit means consciousness, Ananda means bliss. Are they different or not? That is a very vital question in Vedanta philosophy. Look what will happen. Chit, consciousness. If Sat, existence, is an object, I know my existence. Then I know existence is separate from me. So existence becomes an object. I want bliss. Then bliss becomes an object. Vedanta says, no, they are not object. They are not two, so they are not separate. They are the same thing. Existence cannot stand without consciousness. Bliss cannot stand without consciousness. So these three are one substance. That is Sat, Chit, Ananda. It is Satchidananda, Brahma. Vedanta define Anantam Brahmanandam, which is in Taittiriya Upanishad we define Brahman, infinite. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. That is the definition in the Taittiriya Upanishad. Satyam, truth, existence. Jnanam, knowledge, consciousness. Anantam, infinite. Bliss is infinite. That, these three are Brahman. What is Brahman? Vast. Biggest. You cannot think anything bigger than Brahman. So anyhow, we want to understand this Brahman. How shall we understand? This story. In the 6th chapter of the Chandogya Upanishad, Shetaketu, a young man, very rowdy young boy, his father was Uddalaka, a sage, sent his son to Gurukula. Go to the house of the Guru and study. But 12 years he studied, came back at the age of 25. Father noticed, be very egotistic. My son, did you ask your Guru knowing which everything can be known? Oh no, my Guru doesn't know all those things. Acha, did you ask this question, Ashrutam, Shrutam, Agyatam, Gatam, Amatam, Matam, through which the unheard can be heard, unseen can be seen, unknown can be known? Do you know such thing? Did you ask your Guru all these things? Oh no, he doesn't know all these things. And some disciples blame the Guru. Then Father says, all right, my son, why don't you teach me? So Father started. He explained that the whole creation, and behind that creation there is a subtle consciousness, pervading consciousness is everything, holding this world. Vayas tapoti surja, vayat agni. The sun shines, the fire beats, the water, the Indra water, Mittu, death works, all these things, the season changes, day, night changes, all these things in this world goes very orderly. Do you know why? Because of the Brahman behind. That consciousness is holding everything. That is called dharma. He is holding. Then he says, going on and on, he says, you know, your ego, in deep sleep, your ego is a individuality goes away. He gave an example. Thousands of bees go to thousands of flowers and bring honey and put it in the honeycomb. When you squeeze the honey comes. You do not know which is coming from which flower. Everything blends. The father is giving example after example. Individuality goes away. In Shushupti, in deep sleep, individual knowledge also goes away. Example, your son, my son, his son, our 10 sons are in a choir. They are singing. You do not hear your son's voice. You only hear one sound is coming from the choir. Your son's voice. But when 9 boys stop, then you can hear your son's voice. So individual knowledge is not in Shushupti, in deep sleep. Then he says, see, this individual soul, I'm trying to make the introduction of the Tattvamasi. Every time the Guru, Father is telling, Tattvamasi Shetuketu, oh my son, thou art that, you are Brahman. 9 times he had to repeat. So, Jeev Abhinashi, this individual soul, is indestructible. Do you know how? If you cut a branch of a tree, the tree will exist another branch, it may exist. This vriksha is the jiva, jivatma. When this Atman, this consciousness departs from this tree, the tree withers away, it dries up, dies. Which is the consciousness, is bringing life to every being. Thou art that, you are that Brahman. Then he says that you see only gross things. You have no eyes to see the subtle things. Here is a tiny banyan seed, but it has tremendous potentiality to produce such a huge banyan tree. Tiny banyan tree, a tiny seed that subtle has the power to make these things vast. Just think of that. Shah Jahan has a desire to make Taj Mahal on the tomb of his wife. It is a desire, subtle desire. I shall make such a monument which will be one of the 7 wonders in the world. From the tiny thought brought this Taj Mahal. I'm just telling you from the subtle things how vast things come. The gross, the vast comes from the subtle. How can I get the knowledge of Brahman? You need a guru. A man was passing through the street. The robbers kidnapped him, bandaged his eyes, robbed his everything, and tied him with a tree. A good Samaritan was walking by, saw you in pitiable condition, released you from the tree, from your bonds, and asked you, "Sir, tell me what happened." "Well, I was kidnapped, I was robbed, and they tied me, and I cannot see. I do not know where I am now. Tell me first, where is your house?" "Panchadasi. I know that place. You go this direction, south, right, left." He gave the direction like GPS. You will reach your home. So in this world we are lost. The Guru shows the way. He is telling his disciple, this son, that how to reach that Brahman. And when you know Brahman, apunaravritti, you will never come back. Anyhow, this is, I told you in brief, it is a long chapter. 9 times father repeated and gave the conviction to his son. Thou art that. Another thing, it comes to our mind, the day before, yesterday. One of our devotees came and said, "Swami, I really could not understand that I love my wife. The Upanishad says, Navare puttu kamaya potim priyo bhavati atmanastu kamaya potim priyo bhavati navare jaya oi priyayo jaya priyo bhavati atmanastu jaya priyo bhavati." In this way, Jaggavalko, the great sage, told his wife Maitreyi whole mystery of human life about Ananda. Where is Ananda? Where is joy? Where is bliss? I like to know. The husband loves his wife not for the sake of the wife, for the sake of the self. Husband gets joy loving his wife for the reason he loves his wife. If he would not get joy, he would not love his wife. He does not love others' wives. He loves his wife for the sake of the self, for the sake of the Atman. You see, he sees that my Atman my wife's Atman. Both are the same. Serving her, I am serving myself. Atmanastu. We serve human beings, humanity, for the sake of myself. I get joy. I get hundreds units of joy, giving joy to hundreds people. If I at home I would give only joy to only 1 or 2 units. I'm just telling you that how this joy comes. You know, it is a real mystery. Sometimes we see during the time of famine, mother is telling her children to the people, give me money, give me food, check my child. I want to save my life first. Atmanastu. Everything is connected with that Atman, self. We really love ourselves. We cannot deny it. Love for the self. The whole world is moving for the love for the self. When Nivedita said, Swamiji, if I do good to you, you will get the result. I am not going to get the result. So why should I do good to you? That was Nivedita's question. The Buddha says, be good, do good. Why should I do good? That is my question. Swamiji said, Nivedita, could you not follow? The answer is in Vedanta. By doing good to others, you are doing good to yourself. Priyo putrat, priyo vittat, priyo innasmat, sarvasmat. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad said, priyo putrat, the Atman is dearer than the son, dearer than the money, dearer than everything else. Look, your son has a bad disease. It needs a lot of money. You do not hesitate to sell even your house. You spend all of your bank balance. Now we say, I must save my son. I must sell my house, my everything to cure my son. Just see how love works. Atmanastu. Priyo vittat. Even money, all those things are nothing, negligible. Atmanastu. That joy, bliss comes from where? From within you. A dog is biting a bone, thinking all the juice and flesh are there. Biting, it bites his own tongue and lips, and the blood comes from his own body, and he is thinking that is coming from the bone. That is the way we get joy in this world. It is all comes from within. You know, it is very, very important to understand this source of the bliss. The doctor says, you have broken leg or something like that, it needs to be amputated, otherwise you will not survive. You do not hesitate to lose one part of your body. One of our devotees' daughter was driving, had a bad accident. She had to lose one leg. They amputated the leg. And they had a rubber leg. Then that girl went to Brown University in Providence. She got a medical degree through her willpower. But she doesn't have, she has a false leg. I want to save my life. I love myself. And all this, even we see some people give up their lives for the sake of the freedom. We saw in the freedom fighters in India, whatever, Swadeshi movement. They were hanged. They are gave joy that I will be hanged for the sake of the liberation of my country. During the British period, so many people left, sacrificed their lives for freedom. Just see what the love can do. The yogis, monastics, they renounce everything for the sake of that illumination self. Anyhow, I just give you some introduction. Let us go and read a little bit about our topic. We read Aham Brahmasmi in our previous class. Aham means I, Brahma, Brahman, Osmi is, am. I am Brahman. How I am Brahman? I am God, I am infinite. How is it possible? I have father, mother, brother, sister, I have a body, I have a name, I have this, I have that. These are all superimpositions. This body. My mother, my parents gave a name. Then I changed my name twice. Now sometimes I don't remember my pre-monastic name. Hard for me to remember my name. Nearly 60 years ago I renounced my name. Aham Brahmasmi. You see, Anubhav Mulo Bhagya. Aham Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta, Satya, Sabhava, Ananta, Advaya, Brahma. How these Vedantic teachers coined those words, Aham, I, Nitya, eternal, Shuddha, pure, Buddha, awakened, Mukta, free, Satya, means truth, Sabhava, by nature. By nature I am this. My Atman is always Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta, Satya, Sabhava. And Paramananda, supreme bliss, Ananta, infinite, Advaya, non-dual, Brahma. So this is my true nature. Your true nature, every one of our true nature. Now this verse says, Ekameva dvitiyam sat nama rupa viburjitam, nama rupa puriburjitam, srishti puradhuna opyoisa tadikattam tad iti irjati. Verse 5. Before the creation, there existed the reality, one only, without a second, and without name and form, that it even now, after creation, exists in a similar condition, is indicated by the word that. Now he is trying to establish the word Tattvamasi, the word that, you are Brahman. You see, in the beginning of the 6th chapter of the Chandogya Upanishad, Father said to Shetaketu, Sadeva sammo idam agrasit ekam eva dvitiyam. Listen, my son. Sat eva, only existence existed. Agre, in the very beginning. Asit. What existed? Ekam eva advitiyam. That Sat, that existence is Eka. Eva, Advitiyam. 3 words he used. Eka means, do you know what our problem? We have the knowledge of duality. Bhed. There are 3 kinds of divisions in Vedanta. Swagata, Sajatiyo, Bijatiyo. Swagata means tree. One tree. How many divisions are there? Trunk, root, branches, leaves, flowers, fruits, but one tree. Tree is one, but it has many divisions. That is called Shagata Veda. Shajatiya Veda, tree. Pine tree, Devda tree, mango tree, jackfruit tree, billions of trees. But all are the same species, Shajatiya, same species. That is another division. We see different kinds of trees. Bijatiya, tree, car, chair, microphone, lecture, body, fountain pen, books. Table, chair, computer. Billions of divisions. Bijatiya, each one is different. So these three things do not exist in Brahman. That Father is there in the very beginning is telling the son, Ekam, no Shagata Veda. Eva, verily, no Shajatiya Veda. Aditiyam, it says Aditiyam. But Ekam, he would say Ekam, Ekam means one, no. Then you may say, if Ekam, then may Ditiyam. Aditiyam, secondless one, non-dual. It is negating the second. You will not allow you to think the second. Advitiyam, secondless one. That is existence. That existence he is talking about. Ekam eva advityam sat. Sat, that existence, that Brahman was ekam eva advityam. No divisions there. Some example, space. In Loki, from the worldly standpoint, room space, library space, dining hall space, bathroom space, kitchen space, shrine space, St. Louis space, Missouri space, US space, universal space, space. Only you just mention the name. But the space, break this house, only space. So Brahman is just like that, you cannot divide it, undivided, indivisible. Sat Namarupa Vibhurjitam. How do you get this word? Nam and Rup, name and form. Chair, name. Immediately we see the chair. Microphone, cable, book, Chetananda. All name and form. I sometimes say, existence, consciousness, bliss, that is Brahman, Nam, Rup, Maya. It evolve and dissolve. This world is nothing but Nama Rupa. Nama Rupa Bhakaravani. All manifestation, name and form, name and form, name and form. It is just like the ocean, billions of waves. Small waves, big waves, tidal waves, Namarupa. But nothing but the waves. Waves, ocean is the reality. Without ocean, waves cannot succeed, cannot exist. Ocean is the reality. That Brahman is our reality. This name and form just superimposed on the Atman. When you have this knowledge of Brahman, Atman, you will understand Nam Rup Mitha. Swamiji was scourging one brahmachari. Hey! Lift these two legs of this goat. I will milk this goat for my tea. I need some milk. And Swamiji said, hey, Jambal, lift these two legs. So that he could milk because the ajar is too long, you know. Swamiji gave a scolding. Then do you know what happened? After milking the goat, Swamiji is saying, hey, I told you, Jambal, do you mind? Did you mind? That Nam Rup Mitha. The sound I make and the form, the thing, Jambal, it is Mitha. That scolding became a illumination for that brahmachari. If somebody scolds you, Namrup Mithya, just ignore. Just ignore. Namrup Mithya. Some monks practice it. They are very Namrup Mithya. Brahman is the reality, Sachidananda. Srishti Puram Aduna Upayasya Tadrigottam. This was before creation, after creation, and even now. This the ultimate truth. Brahman alone exists. Namrup Mithya. That is Tat. That is that. That is Brahman. It's just, I gave you the just free explanation. Shrotur dehi indriyatitam bostu atra twang padehiritam ekota grajhati asau asi iti tadaika anubhuyatam. Verse 6. The principle of consciousness which transcends the body, senses, mind of the inquirer is here denoted by the word thou. The word oshi, art, shows their identity. That identity has to be experienced. So first he told what is thought, what is Brahman. Now he is telling Tvam, who are you? Listen, who are you? Shrotu. Drihi Indriyo, your body is functioning. You see, you hear, you smell, you taste, you touch. All these kinds of knowledge is possible if there is consciousness behind. That consciousness is the witness. We call it Shakshi Chaitanya. Is watching all the time. You cannot hide anything from that Atman. Your good thoughts, bad thoughts, whatever comes, he is watching. Who is Tvam? That is Shakshi Chaitanya. And Oshi, you are that. You remember? Suvayam Devodatta. Do you remember in our village there was a person named Devodatta coming from a very poor family? But he was a brilliant boy. Gradually, he became a very famous scientist or a very famous political leader. So I knew that Devodatta when in my childhood we are together, we used to go to school, and now toward the young age I met him and I was introducing him. Soyam Devodatta. It was that Devodatta. You remember? In our village we used to go to school together. Now see how great he is. So that Devodatta and this Devodatta, whether they are the same or not, that is the question. That little Devodatta, his body changed, his education, his everything changed him. Now he is a very famous man. So we see all changes in him, but one thing never changed. That Devodatta, that existence, that consciousness of Devodatta always remains the same. Consciousness does not fluctuate. Your body will fluctuate. Sometimes you may gain weight, sometimes you may lose weight. Your mind will fluctuate. Sometimes you are happy, sometimes you are unhappy. Your prana fluctuates. Sometimes you feel energetic, some you feel very tired. Your everything is changing. Your buddhi also is changing every moment. But your consciousness never changes. That Devadatta's consciousness as a child Devadatta and this accomplishment Devadatta, the same consciousness, that is called Tvam. That pure little consciousness, individual consciousness of Devadatta, and this is the cosmic consciousness, Brahman. These two consciousnesses are one. Not that Devadatta's body and that thing is one. No. It is not the body. It is the consciousness. So Tattvamoshi, the moment Guru says Tattvamoshi, the word that, then I think yes. I am neither the body, nor the mind, nor the senses. Then you will experience Nirvana Shatkam of Shankara. Manoviddhankara chittani naham, nacha shrotrijivi, nacha gharana netri, nacha bhakpani padam, nacha upastapayu, chidananda rupa, shivoham, shivoham. न च प्राणसंगो न वै पंचवायु न व सप्तधातु न व पंचकोश न वाक्पनिपादम न च वस्तपायु चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम शिवोहम न मे देशरागो न मे लोभमोह मधु नैव मे नैव मात्सर्य भाव न च न बंधु चिदानंद चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम शिवोहम. At that time, that experience comes. So Tattvamoshi means thou art that, you are Brahman, not that your body is Brahman, your name is Brahman, but your consciousness is Brahman, thou art that, and you experience it. Obstacle? Asambhavana, impossible, I cannot be Brahman. Viparit Bhavana, I think something else. How do they go? Practice. Mahavakya, repeat again and again, till Ashupte Amrite Kalam Night Vedanta Chinta. Till you go to sleep and till you die. Think about your true nature. Who are you? I am that I am. I am that Brahman. I am that Brahman. I am that Brahman. All right, up to this tonight. Vedanta is not difficult, but hard to practice. Right? Intellectually, we really understand what it is, but practice. Why? Problem? Deho buddhi. It's too much body conscious. Satoma sadgamaya, tamasoma jyotirgamaya, mriturma amritam gamaya. Abhirabhirma edi rudrajate dakshinamukam. Tenamam pahi nityam. Om shanti shanti shanti. Release us from the unreal to the real. Release us from darkness to light. Release us from death to immortality. Light us through and through. And guide us evermore with the loving presence. Peace, peace, peace. Shri, did your machine work?
Yes,